Well, the RCMP, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, which is a criminal organization of Canada, have, as you know, ordered the killing of these 400 ostriches at the Universal Ostrich Farm near Edgewood, British Columbia. And over the weekend, things came to a head with, from reports, at least one ostrich dying, I would say killed, because of what they have been doing and terrorizing this farm, not allowing these animals to get the proper care that they need. But we're going to get the straight info right now from Katie Pasitny. Of course, she is from the Universal Ostrich Farm. She has been fighting and fighting and fighting, trying to get the message out and trying to tear down like the tyranny of this Canadian government right now. Katie, great to have you back on the show. What happened this weekend and where do things stand now?
Thank you very much for having me. Am I frozen again?
Yeah, looks like you are.
Pixelated, but we hear you fine.
Our show.
I know. Is it? I don't know if you're on cell signal or are you on Wi-Fi, or if you can flip to your cell signal, that'll be better. It might be that you're on Wi-Fi or something.
Right. Yeah, because it was just working just wonderful, and here we go.
Well.
Oh, I think we lost her altogether.
Yeah.
Now.
What do we think, boys? Can you guys hear her?
David, what do you think?
Okay, there we go. Is that better?
All right, let's take a look. I can't see, but okay. All right, well, let's reset. Right. So, Katie, what happened this weekend?
Okay. Well, this weekend, I'm sorry. So just on this note, we have new big cellular towers that they're erecting at the end of our road that they say are to intercept cell phone calls and cell phone signals. So we're having more overreach. We're spending, there's about 30 police officers and cars here a day. We have the tactical force unit. We have drone units. We have a canine unit, I heard, here. And over the weekend, we had the death of a hen. It has been absolutely heartbreaking. So she's about 20 years old. Her name is Spirit. And we had got her healthy because her knee, she had an injury. And she was having a hard time walking. We spent about a month with her, just getting her back into good shape. And she was doing fantastic. Then we had the RCMP drones fly over on the Monday, really low, spook all of our animals. They were hitting fences. And this one in particular hen, she flipped a fence twice. And we have the footage of myself and my mom yelling at the drones to get out of here, to stop. She flipped over the fence twice. She injured her knees. And then we put her on an antibiotic and an anti-inflammatory right away while we were still in the pens. Then we were arrested, and everybody knew about that whole story, baited into the back, told we could feed our animals, continued to humanely care for them, keeping them calm and their routine normal while all this was going on. Then we were arrested. We were hauled out of there, and nobody has been allowed back in those pens that are our care, like us as a farm, as caregivers. So we had continued communication, trying to communicate with Canadian Food Inspection Agency, asking them, please, have you guys been administering her antibiotic and anti-inflammatory? This is what we were using. She needs this. She needs you to continue this treatment. These are the medications. Here are the medications. They did not continue those her administration of these treatments. So the only way Canadian Food Inspection Agency will communicate with us right now is by email. So it's extremely cowardly. They will not come to the fence. They will not allow us to treat our own animals, even though we've shown no aggression. We even said, if we don't have our phone, we will not bring our phones in. Just allow us to care for our sick or injured. They're not sick, injured. The mainstream media is loving to use the word compromised health right now rather than injured. And that is something we need to correct as well. We had an injured pen. And one hen had a broken toe. One rooster was half blind. This girl, we brought in there the minute she had flipped the fence twice. And so what had happened was they were lying to us about this hen. We were giving them electrolytes twice a day 10:30 in the morning and 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were giving those bags to the PLTs, which are police liaisons. They walked over to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. They gave them the bag. That bag was supposed to be go in and tube this hen and give her electrolytes and hydrate her and give her some strength. We have footage from people who were supporting us here that those electrolytes went in the pen, not even in an area where that hen was. They walked for about, I think it ended up being about 3 minutes. Within the whole total process of them taking that bag was 5 minutes, I think in 30 seconds. They walked, and there's visual footage of them taking those electrolytes and dumping them on the ground. They were not tubing this hen. They were not giving her nourishment and to hydrate her. So Spirit died out of sepsis, is what they're saying, because she had infection. So they did not continue the antibiotic. She died from dehydration. They were not hydrating her with her electrolytes. They were lying to us. And we are calling on for animal cruelty and neglect. These animals are not their animals. They are our animals. This is our land. These are our animals. While in their care, they need to be performing the same amount of care. If not, they should be performing better care than we would. They have the means to have 30 police officers and spend $500,000 a day at our farm. They should have the means to have the best vet out there and be treating her to maintain her health and well-being. So we're dealing with such a big problem right now. With the wolf is in the sheep's pen, and they have made it very clear. There is no pictures. We've been begging for pictures and imagery of our animals and their welfare. We've been begging for just some transparency on the well-being of our animals and why are they being pushed into the kill box before we even have a decision from Supreme Court of Canada. And they absolutely are just denying us everything that we're requesting. We're talking about living animals with heartbeats, warm skin, and the pitter-patter of their feet on the ground, that when they kill these animals, if they kill these animals, we're never going to get these animals back. Their heartbeats are gone forever. And that hen Spirit, it was a big eye-opener, I think, to not just Canadians, but people across the world, what this organization's allowed to get away with.
But where are you on your legal challenge? Because you were appealing to the Supreme Court, which had issued a stay for the execution. Will the court give you back full access? And I thought you were under protection of an Indian reservation as well. So why are they still continuing to usurp your power?
That's right. This is an organization, we've now labeled them the Canadian Animal Cruelty Organization Agency, because they operate with no oversight, excessive freedom, and no accountability. There is nobody that oversees them. They get to make their own rules. They get to hide in the back. They're hiding behind the police officers with their badges and this police tape. And the Indigenous have stepped forward, and we've been talking about the unceded territories of the Silix and band. And there's been some more that have come forward, but they're just really not recognizing that. We've been working with that steady to try and get some chiefs and elders out here. We did have some breakthrough yesterday. We have an elder named Bev, and she's performed multiple ceremonies here while this has all been going on for the 10 months, and healing circles. The birds love the native drumming. They love the ceremony, and they allowed Bev to go across the yellow police line yesterday and perform a ceremony of protection of the land and of the animals. And that was a really beautiful thing. They did participate in it. There was 2 RCMP officers that participated. There's been a lot of healing here in some of that aspect. And I do want to look at the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and say they do have the right, they could walk away. At the same time, I look at these RCMP officers and know that they are also victims of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, because I told them if there was a real virulent threat here, you all would be at risk. They have not trained you properly. They haven't put you in the proper positions in the proper PPE or demonstrated any kind of leadership to show you guys, briefing you on the hazard, if there was a hazard here. And Canadian Food Inspection Agency is just hiding. They're hiding in the back of our field, and they're hiding by behind this big hay box, which we're calling a kill box right now. And they're hiding behind it, and they're not answering to anything. They just want to keep putting statements out that these animals are, still a virulent threat, still denying us testing, which is extremely concerning. We have a vet coming today. That is a big update. That vet is here now, and they're allowing him to go in at 2:00. We are being persistent that we want to be able to take blood from these animals and just let the world breathe. Let's just find out that age-old question for once. Do these animals, and are these animals carrying live virus? Which they're not. We do know what this is, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. They're hiding. They have fear of accountability, and they have fear of what that's going to look like when these animals test negative. So we have so many angles, but all we've been asking for is the collaboration to be able, the opportunity to work with Canadian Food Inspection Agency. But I've taken a really different approach after talking to multiple farmers. This is an organization that has to be brought to its knees. This is, we're done. Like, this is, in Canada, this organization has way too much power, and what comes with power is what we're looking at here. It's tyrannical behavior, overreach, oversight, no accountability, and our animals are suffering. This is neglect, and this is neglect at its highest level of
and Canadian
animals.
farmers are. I mean, this is like the trucker convoy 2.0 in Canada.
Yes.
The government overreach, the tyranny of these authoritarian governments who think that they can just terrorize these farmers and kill these animals.
Yeah.
You have people yelling about it on the United States side, on the Trump administration, RFK Jr., and a number of individuals. Where do things go next for you, Katie? We have about 30 seconds left. Where do you think things go next for you?
Next, you guys, this is ground zero for change. This has to be a collapse of this organization and rebuilt from the ground up to restore the faith and trust in Canadians that there's an organization that's going to protect them, not attack them. If this organization is doing this here, what have they been able to get away with for decades? And how were those animals treated, and how much did those animals suffer under their care? And that's what we need to look at, is a better way. And these animals need to not suffer. We are waiting for the Supreme Court of Canada's decision whether we're able to have our case heard. We do have a couple other angles as well that we're going to go for, but I think it's time that they come forward and stop being cowards, and they step into the light. They're going to have to own up to what they've done. And we were arrested. And we were arrested for caring for our animals and wanting to stay in there with them and care for them. They should be arrested for animal cruelty, and they should be arrested for neglect. And
Can I ask you a question? These drones, they're flying over and harassing your animals and doing all this. Can you shoot them out of the sky?
Clayton.
Nope. Yeah. Hey, Clayton, it's a good question. No, you can't. I would. It's a federal offense, so you can't. We've had less drones lately, but we have a no-fly zone that they put in over the whole area as well. So that's with NAV Canada. They've redirected flight paths, everything from over our farm. Nothing can come over. It is a war. This is literally a military operation on a farm that is just trying to do the right thing, creating antibodies, for humanity and for other animal welfare. One thing that's been very made clear here is that the Canadian Poultry Association is the one that they're protecting, and it's not all of our small farms. It's not all of our other industry, and it's to do with politics. It's you go where the money is. If we have better antibodies than the chickens, then we're going to be dipping into those pockets. If we have antibodies that could create therapeutics, then we're dipping into big pharma. Big pharma doesn't want what we have here. These are prehistoric animals that have survived millions of years, and these animals have names. We just have to keep this in mind. They are not poultry. They are not chickens. They survived 70 years, and our oldest is 35, and we need control back of our animals, and we need them to step off our property. We need the police to do the right thing and walk away. But this is setting a very scary standard for the world. And if this is allowed to happen at our farm, then this should be a huge alarm bell for everywhere across the world.
Katie Pisitny, well, you have our thoughts and prayers, and we're in your corner, and we'll do whatever we can here at Redacted to call attention
I appreciate you both so much and everything you do and everything you stand for. And thank you, because there is life getting lost, and they are neglecting our animals, and they are inhumanely treating ours and probably millions of more. We know how the foaming and the CO2 gas and the suffering that a lot of these animals go through. And there's layers to this. If I could just quickly, Canadian Food Inspection Agency also has their hands in the pockets. There's ties to the companies for the CO2 gas. And Hendricks Genetic Turkeys in the Netherlands, they have their hands in all of these pockets. There's rabbit holes where they get kickbacks from, they've invested interest in the CO2 gas company that they use to kill the animals. This is layers and layers of corruption. We're just trying to really outline that right now, but I think it's going to be very important that this all gets exposed across the world.
My God.
Awful. Well, Katie, thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out.
Thank you.
I know, literally dealing with the police, like at a moment's notice. We were texting earlier, like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to deal with the police. So I know it's been a nightmare for you, but we'll keep fighting for you as well. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you both so much.